Good evening, friends. Welcome to Tathastu ICS. As you know, Tathastu ICS is running a prelims Adharsila program. And as part of that, I am taking the Histrangani series. That is a series of lectures related to thematic analysis of history. So today I will be discussing the previous year questions trend analysis of medieval India. Along with that, I will be also discussing in end about the important topics on which we should focus for 2024 prelims. So let's start with the medieval history part. But before proceeding, you must understand that in medieval India, I will be also covering the early medieval part, that is from 600 to 1200 and then from 1200 to 1750. That is early medieval history as well as the medieval history, and along with that the art and culture portion which were asked from this period, from early medieval and medieval, that will be also covered in this lecture. So let's see the questions which were asked from medieval history part. Before proceeding further, let's see how many questions are asked from medieval India. In 2023, there were only three questions asked. In 2022, 7 questions were asked. In 2021, 6. In 2020, only 2. In 2019, there were 7 questions again. In 18 and 17, there were 4 questions each. And then in 16, again 6 questions. So if you see from this, one thing is very clear, that in between there are odd years in which there are only 2 questions, 3 questions from medieval India. Otherwise, if you leave these odd years, there are at least 4 questions and it is going up to 6 to 7 questions. So in that context, if we see, the medieval India is important for clearing prelims. Why? Because 6 to 7 questions means around 15 to 20 marks. So a difference of 15 to 20 marks can be made just from the medieval history part. So it is important for clearing prelims examination. Now let's see the type of questions which are asked from medieval India. We'll start from 2016. If we see the 2016 questions, first question is with respect to cultural history of medieval India. This is basically from early medieval India. This is about the Siddhas of Tamil region were monotheistic and they condemned idolatry. This is a correct statement. There were some sects like Lingayat, like Siddhas, like Nathas. All these were against the orthodox Brahmanical traditions. So they condemned idolatry and they were monotheistic. This is correct statement. Similarly, like the Siddhas, there were Lingayats of Kannada region who questioned the theory of rebirth and rejected the caste hierarchy. This is also correct. Lingayats, who started this Lingayat sect? Basava. Basava was the person from Karnataka who started this, and he was against this caste hierarchy and he also questioned the theory of rebirth. So this is also correct. So answer would be C, both 1 and 2. Seeing the next question. So this is about the early medieval, and you can put these sects under the topics basically. You can put these under Bhakti movements, early Bhakti you can say. If you see the another question, these were related to the famous places and the regions to which they belonged. As we had seen in the ancient history portion, there were a lot of questions from sites, famous places of ancient history. Similarly, here in medieval also we are seeing this. If you see this, Bodh Gaya is in Waghel Khand. It is incorrect. Why? Because Waghel Khand is the region of Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. It doesn't include Bodh Gaya. Bodh Gaya is in Bihar. If you see Khajuraho, Khajuraho is in Bundelkhand. This is correct. Why? Because Khajuraho is part of the Madhya Pradesh area, Madhya Pradesh state, where it is belongs to Bundelkhand region. If you see Sirdi belong to Vidarbha. This is also wrong. Why? Because Sirdi is not in Vidarbha. Vidarbha is the place where the districts like Nagpur, Gadchiroli, these are the districts in Vidarbha. Sirdi is not in Vidarbha. Sirdi is in Ahmednagar district. So this is also wrong. If you see Nasik from Malwa region. This is also wrong. Why? Because Nasik is not in Malwa region. Lasik is part of the Madhya Pradesh. It is not in Malwa region. Third is Tirupati belongs to Rayalaseema. This is correct. Tirupati is part of Rayalaseema. And if by this, if you see, so 2 and 5. So answer C is correct. By elimination also you could have solved this by eliminating 1 or 2 options that you can try by yourself. So the important places are also asked. Early medieval from sects and important saints from Bhakti movement are also asked. We should focus on these areas. Next, see the another slide. Regarding the taxation system of Krishnadeva. Regarding the taxation system of Krishnadeva, the ruler of Vijayanagar, consider the following statement. See, Vijayanagar is coming in picture. We will see every year there is 1 or 2 question from Vijayanagar Empire. So Vijayanagar is an important area for us to focus in prelims. So this question is, the tax rate on land was fixed depending on the quality of the land. This is correct. In Vijayanagar Empire, it depended on what? Quality of the land. Another question is, private owners of workshops paid an industries tax. Yes, there are references of various professionals paying taxes. So there were taxes on professions. By the same logic, we can say that yes, the workshops, they were also carrying out some professions, so they also used to pay industries tax. So this is also a correct statement, and in this case, both 1 and 2 will be correct. The next question is related to the terms. See, in ancient India also, we saw that there were a lot of questions coming from terminologies, the ancient dictionary, which you can say. In the same way, from medieval and early medieval also, lot of terms are coming, like iripatti. What is iripatti? Land revenue from which was set apart for maintenance of village tank. For the maintenance of village tank, you used to keep a share of the land revenue aside, so that that tank can be maintained regularly. So this is correct. Second is Taniyur. Taniyur is villages donated to a single Brahmin or a group of Brahmins. No, this is wrong. Why? These were Brahmadeyas. The villages donated to Brahmins were Brahmadeya, Agrahara. They were not Taniyur. Taniyur was a revenue unit created under the Cholas. So they were not basically the villages donated to Brahmins. And third is the Ghatikas. Ghatikas were colleges generally attached to the temples. This is correct. Yes, they were colleges attached to temples in which Brahmanical education was being provided in Sanskrit medium. So this statement is correct. So only 1 and 3 will be correct. Answer is D. But the idea is the terms. We have to look for the important terminologies in ancient and early medieval and medieval history. Why? Because these terms are being repeatedly asked in the prelims examination. Moving to the next slide. As I was discussing, again see the term Arghatta. With reference to the economic history of medieval India, the term Arghatta refers to. Arghatta is basically the Persian wheel, the water wheel. Arghatta is Persian wheel which is used for irrigation purpose. So the statement C is correct in this. Next is the Banjaras. Banjaras during the medieval period were generally, if we talk about the Banjaras, now also we talk about the communities who are Banjaras, that is who move around, who move from one place to another. So in medieval time, these Banjara were traders. You may have read this in Alauddin's Market Reform, where he says that Banjaras carry the grains from rural area to the urban area for sale in the market. So yes, these were the traders. So Banjaras were the traders. But the idea is the terminologies, important key terms in the medieval history is being asked repeatedly. So we should focus on them. Moving to 2017. If we see the questions from 2017 with reference to the Manipur Sankirtana. Basically, this is a question from art and culture part of the medieval period. This is not directly from the medieval period, but art and culture part of the medieval period. So Manipuri Sankirtana, if we talk about, it is a song and a dance performance, correct? It includes singing, drumming, dancing, everything is there. Symbols are the only, see here, the catch is They are not the only instrument. There are pungs which are being played for this, not just cymbals. So cymbals were not the only musical instrument used in this performance. It is performed to narrate the life and deeds of Lord Krishna. This is correct. Manipur Sankirtana is related to the life of Lord Krishna. So this is correct. So 1 and 3 is correct. Answer is B. 12 answer is B. If we see the next question, that is the 70th question. Consider the following pairs. Chaliha Sahib Festival and the communities. Sindh community, this is correct. This is a question whose sources are not generally given. Maybe in current affairs, maybe in the news, these are there, but they are not as such mentioned in any textbook. If we see the second, Nandaraj Jat Yatra Gond. This is wrong. Why? Because Nanda Devi is from, the temple of Nanda Devi is in Uttarakhand and Gonds are in central India. So there is no coordination between the two. Another is Wari Varkari Santhals. This is also wrong. Why? Because the Varkari sect is from Pandharpur area. You may have heard about this. Pandharpur Varkari sect, and the Lord Vitthova. Vitthova Lord is there for whom they worship. So this is not at all related to the Santhals. Why? Because Santhals generally belong to the area of Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh. These are the areas. They are not in the Pandharpur region or the Maharashtra region. So answer is 1 only. 1 only is the correct answer. Moving to the next slide. Which one of the following was an important seaport in the Kakadiya kingdom? If you see the Kakadiya kingdom is in early medieval India. And in Kakadiya kingdom, it is talking about the important seaport. Yesterday also, or the day before yesterday, when we had discussed this ancient India wala part, we had talked about the importance of ports in the prelims examination. A number of times questions have been asked from port. And see, this Kakatiya kingdom, they have asked the seaport. But this is a difficult question. Why? Because this Motupalli port, which is the port of the Kakatiya kingdom, is not generally given in a routine book. This is given in Romila's Thapar book. So it was a difficult question from that perspective. Which of the following are famous for the sun temples? This is again a question which is difficult to attempt. Why? Because this is not given in the routine book. The answer for this is Arsavalli is the some temple is there, correct. In Amarkantak, there is Udgam temple. That is the temple from where the Son and Narmada rivers originate. There is no sun temple in Amarkantak. And in Omkareswar, you must be knowing, there is Shiva temple. There is no sun temple. So from that perspective, answer is A1 only. But this was a difficult question. Why? Because sun temples are not generally covered in any of the routine books, textbooks. Moving to the next slide. 2018. If we see the question in 2018 with reference to the cultural history of India, consider the following statements. Most of the Tyagraj Kirtis are devotional songs in praise of Lord Krishna. This is wrong. Why? Because Tyagraj wrote songs in praise of Lord Ram, not Lord Krishna. So this is wrong. Second is he created several new ragas. This is correct. Annamacharya and Tyagraj are contemporary. This is also wrong. Why? Because Annamacharya belongs to 15th century and Tyagraj belongs to 18th century. So they cannot be contemporary. So this is also wrong. Next is Annamacharya Kirtanas are devotional songs in praise of Lord Venkateshwara. So this is correct. So if we see this, answer is 2 and 4. So B only. Answer is 2 and 4. 1 is not there, 3 is not there. 1 and 3, if you eliminate, 2 and 4 is only there. Right? You may have heard about Tyagraj, the trinity of Carnatic music. Tyagraj, Dikshitar and Muthuswami. These were the 3 people who were the trinity, who formed a trinity of Carnatic music. Moving to the next question. the well-known painting Bani Thanni belongs to? Sir, Bani Thanni is a painting which belongs to the Kishangarh school of Rajasthani painting. So all these are Bundi school, and Jaipur school also are Rajasthan. Kangra school is not from, this is from Pahari area, and Kishangarh school is from Rajasthan itself. So Bani Thanni painting is related to Kishangarh school. So correct answer is D. Actually, there was a king named Savant Singh. So the king named Savant Singh and his beloved was Bani Thanni, and on whose romantic tales these paintings are being created. So this is belonging to Kishangarh school. This is given in CCRT. This Thyagaraja and Annamacharya, this is covered where in CCRT it is given. Moving to the next slide. With reference to the cultural history of India, consider the following statements. With respect to cultural history, consider the following statements. First is, white marble was used in the making of Buland Darwaja and Khanka at Fatehpur Sikri. If we see Buland Darwaja, Akbar had built it after his victory to commemorate his victory over the Gujarat. But white marble was used. This is not correct. Basically, red sandstone. So use of red sandstone was there. There were a lot of controversy also related to this question. Why? Because most of the people were saying that one is correct, because there were also use of some white marble in inlay work, but UPSC has said that this is wrong. Red sandstone and marble were used in the making of Bada Imambara and Rumi Darwaja at Lucknow. This is also wrong. Why? Because the normal plaster were used in the construction of this. Red sandstone and marble were not used. So this is also wrong. So answer given by UPSC is neither 1 nor 2. Answer given is neither 1 nor 2. Simple brick and plaster were used for construction of Imambara and Rumi Darwaja. Moving to the next question, which one of the following foreign travelers elaborately discussed about the diamonds and diamond mines of India? This is a difficult question. Why? Because explicitly it is not given in the routine book. Who was the foreign traveler who discussed about diamond and diamond mines? But yes, it is given in NCERT that Tavernier was the jeweler. He was a jeweler who used to work on these things. So by that guess, you can go ki Tavernier was the one who discussed a lot about diamonds and diamond mines. Otherwise, it is not given in the routine book. Coming to 2019. If we see the question, in the revenue administration of Delhi Sultanate, the in charge of revenue collection was Amil. Correct. So Delhi Sultanate is another area from which questions are coming repeatedly. We will see in subsequent years also. So in the revenue administration of Delhi Sultanate, in charge of revenue collection was Amil. This is correct. Another is Ikta system of Sultans of Delhi was an ancient indigenous institution. This is completely wrong. Why? If we talk about the ancient institution, you take Vedic period, you take post-Vedic period, you take Mauryan period, Mahajanpada period, post-Maurya period, Gupta period, we have never heard of any institution like Ekta. In fact, this had its origin where? In the Islamic world. So we cannot say that it was an indigenous institution. The office of Mir Bakshi came into existence during the reign of Khalji Sultan. This is also wrong. Why? Because Mir Bakshi was the head of military of Mughals, not Khaljis. So Mir Bakshi did not came into existence during the Khaljis. So answer is 1 only. So basically they mixed these two statements from Sultanate and this one from Mughals. With reference to the Mughal India, what is our difference between Jagirdars and Jamindars? Jagirdars were holders of land assignments in lieu of judicial and police duties, whereas Jamindars were holders of revenue rights without obligation to perform any duty. See, without obligation to perform any duty other than revenue. There was nothing like this. They were also given the normal police duties and other duties in their areas. So you cannot say that they were not given other duties. Next statement is land assignments to Jagindars were hereditary and revenue rights of Jamindars were not hereditary. This is also wrong. Why? Because the rights given, the privileges given to Jamindars were also hereditary, and for that matter Jagirdars were transferred regularly but Jamindars were not. So in that case it is the reverse, not this statement. So this is also wrong. So answer is neither 1 and 2. Neither 1 and 2. Coming to the next question, who among the following Mughal emperors shifted emphasis from illustrated manuscript to album and individual portrait? If you look at the Mughal emperors, basically Jahangir was the ruler under whom this painting reached its zenith. The zenith of Mughal painting, or the peak of Mughal painting, was achieved during the reign of Jahangir. So answer for this is Jahangir. Under his emphasis only it shifted to individual portrait from manuscript. So answer is C. If we see the next question with reference to the Mian Tansen, which of the following statement is not correct? If we see, Tansen was the title given to him by Emperor Akbar. This is wrong. Why? Akbar did not give him this title. Rather, the Raja Bikramjit of Gwalior was the person who gave him the title of Tansen. Tansen composed Drupad on the Hindu gods and goddesses, correct? Tansen was earlier Hindu only, and he composed a number of Drupads on Lord Ganesh, Lord Shiva, Lord Parvati, goddess Parvati. So we can say that yes, he composed Drupads on Hindu gods and goddesses. Tansen composed songs on his patrons. This is obvious. He will definitely compose songs for his patrons. This is very true. Next is he invented many ragas. This is also Miyan ki Malhar, Miyan ki Todi. These were the ragas which he invented. But the answer is what? Is not correct. So only answer is A. A is not correct. Others are correct. So again from Mughal India. So Tansen also from Mughal period. He was Navratna of Akbar. Previous slide also see question from Mughal and Delhi Sultanate. If we see this question, consider the following statements. Saint Nimbarka was a contemporary of Akbar. So they are mixing two themes. Saint Nimbarka from Bhakti movement. There is no correlation between the two. Why? Because Akbar is in 16th century and Nimbarka is in 12th, 13th century. So there is no coordination between the two. This is in 13th century and this is in 16th century. So this statement is wrong. Second is Saint Kabir was greatly influenced by Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi. Again there is no coordination. Why? Because Kabir is in 14th, 15th century and Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi was not even born at the time of Kabir. So there is no coordination between the two. This is also wrong. Kabir can never get influenced by a person who was not even born. So this is also wrong. So answer is neither 1 and or not 2. Neither 1 nor 2. So this is coming from where? From Bhakti Saints. As I told you, this is an area, Bhakti Saints, from where UPSC regularly picks up themes in both prelims and mains. Seeing the next question. This is about famous place and river. Last video also, last lecture also, when discussing about ancient India, I told you that yes, UPSC asks questions where they ask for a pilgrimage site located on the river, like they had asked about Ajanta on the river Vaghora. In the same way, you can see here Pandharpur located on Chandrabhaga river. This is correct. Pandharpur, just I talked about the Varkari sect. It is related to that place, Lord Vitthova and Varkari sect. It is located on which river? Chandrabhaga river. This is correct. Tiruchirappalli is on Kaveri river. This is also correct. The third, if you know the third, you can easily find out the answer. Why? Because you can eliminate these three. Hampi, if you see, Hampi is located on Tungabhadra river. Hampi was the capital of Vijayanagar and it was located where? On Tungabhadra river. So when it is located on Tungabhadra, it cannot be on Malprabha as well. And by this, all these are wrong. Only A is correct. If we see the next question, building Kalyan Mandapas was a notable feature in the temple construction. So basically they are asking about the temple architecture, and they are saying that Kalyan Mandapa was a feature of which dynasty? And if you see this, Kalyan Mandapa was a feature of Vijayanagar kingdom. In Vijayanagar kingdom, they used to have Kalyan Mandapa, where they used to arrange the marriage of the chief god as well as his consort in the temple premises. And Kalyan Mandapa was the place where this was being done. So this is from Vijayanagar Empire. So again, Vijayanagar question coming from Vijayanagar Empire. Seeing the 2020 questions. Which of the following phrases defines the nature of the hundi? Again, see the terms. The medieval dictionary or terminology again coming into picture. Hundi referred to in the sources of post-Harsa period, that is early medieval and medieval period. An advisory issued by king, a diary to be maintained, a bill of exchange. Hundi was a bill of exchange. Actually, in earlier times, there was no banks which can transfer money from this place to that place. So basically, whenever you used to deposit money to a saraf or a money lender, they used to give you that record. Basically, they were kind of that banks, movable banks. So they will give you the record of your deposit. Like if I deposit money in Patna, so they will give me that record. I can get money back in Ahmedabad using that record only. So if you carry money from Patna to Ahmedabad, maybe someone may loot you, and it is difficult to carry so much money also. So this hundi was the method through which this money used to get transferred. So this was a bill of exchange. So answer is C. Consider the following events in the history of India. Rise of Pratihara. See, this type of chronological order. This chronological order questions is also being asked repeatedly these days. In ancient India also this was being asked. In medieval India also this is being asked. So if you see this question, Pallavas. Pallavas in which period? 6th, 17th century. 6th, 7th century CE. So Pallava in the period of 6th, 7th century. Palas. Palas in 8th, 9th century. So Pala in 8th century. It is talking about founded by Gopala. When? In 8th century. Pallava in 6th, 7th century. Then is the rise of Pratiharas. Pratiharas in 9th century. And Chola. Establishment of Chola power in 10th century. So you can clearly find out what it is asking. Correct chronological order of above starting from the earliest time. So earliest will be this Pallava 2, then Pala 4, then 9th rise of Pratihara 1, and this 2413. 2413. So answer is C is correct. But idea is they are asking again and again to arrange these dynasties in chronological order. So you must be thorough with all the dynasties which happened during this early medieval period especially, because they are asking questions again and again on this area. Moving to the next slide. If we see this question, it is saying it was during the reign of Iltutmish that Changiz Khan reached the Indus in pursuit of fugitive Khwarezm prince. Yes, if you see this fugitive Khwarezm prince, what was his name? Jalaluddin Mangwarni. So yes, in the pursuit of this Jalaluddin Mangwarni, Changiz Khan reached the Indus. So this is correct. But Iltutmish refused to entertain this Khwarezm prince, and by this he was able to prevent this attack of Changiz Khan. It was during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq that Taimur occupied Multan and crossed the Indus. If you are aware with the time period, Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Taimur, there is no correlation. Why? Because Muhammad bin Tughlaq died in 1351 and Taimur came in 1398. So there is a difference of around 40-50 years. So this cannot be correct. It was during the reign of Dev Raya II of Vijayanagar Empire that Vasco da Gama reached the coast of Kerala. See, Vasco da Gama reached the coast of Kerala in 1498, and who received him? The Jamorin of Calicut. It has no correlation with Dev Raya II. Why? Because Dev Raya II ruled at the time of around 1420s, 1440s. There is again gap of around 50 years. So this is also wrong. So answer is only one only. But see here, the theme from where UPSC is speaking: Vijayanagar Empire, Delhi Sultanate, Tughlaq, Iltutmish. So Delhi Sultanate, Vijayanagar, these are the areas from which UPSC repeatedly picks up themes to ask questions. So you must be aware with them. And Mongol invasion has of late become an important area. With reference to the Chaussat Yogini temple situated near Morena, consider the following statements. Why this question came? Because last 2-3 years back, there was this news of construction of new parliament, and because of that, this old parliament also came into picture. So the examiner may have picked up theme from current affairs. So if we see this question, it is a circular temple built during the reign of Kachpagata dynasty. This is correct. It was built during the time of Kachpagata dynasty, and it is also a circular temple. You can see our parliament also, old parliament, it was also circular. It is the only, see here is the catch, only circular. This is incorrect. There are innumerable circular temples in our country. Our land, the Hindustan, if you see, it is a land of temples. There are so many temples. So you cannot say that only circular temple built in India. It was meant to promote the Vaishnava cult. You can see from this Chaussat Yogini temple. So it is not related to Vaishnava, right? It is Chaussat Yogini. It is not for Vaishnava. And fourth is, its design was given rise to a popular belief that it was the inspiration behind the Indian Parliament. This is correct. It was inspiration behind the construction of Indian Parliament. So 1 and 4 is the correct answer. This is also from where? From current affairs. They are linking to the early medieval period. From current affairs to early medieval period. If you see the Kachpagata dynasty, around 14th century, this temple was constructed around 14th century. This Chaussat Yogini temple. According to the Portuguese writer Nunes, the women in Vijayanagar. See again, the Vijayanagar Empire is again coming into picture. They are again asking question from Vijayanagar. So they are saying that Portuguese, as you know, a lot of foreign travelers came to visit the Vijayanagar Empire, which included Nunes, which included Pace, which included Barbosa, which included Abdul Razak. There were a number of foreign travelers who visited Vijayanagar Empire. So Nunes was one of them, and he had written about the women in Vijayanagar Empire. So it is asking, women were expert in which of the following areas? So the answer in this is D. Women used to do wrestling, astrology, accounting, soothsaying, everything was being done. So basically the professions, different professions were open to women in Vijayanagar Empire. So this has to be D. Vijayanagar Empire is an area from which UPSC asks questions again and again. Moving to the next question. Saint Xavier. If we see, Saint Francis Xavier was one of the founding members of the Jewish order. This is correct. He was one of the founding members. He died in Goa. This is actually incorrect. Why? Because he had died in Hong Kong. He has died in China. He had not died in Goa. So this is also correct. But yes, a church is dedicated to him. Yes, a church is dedicated. The feast of Saint Francis Xavier is celebrated in Goa each year. This is also correct. On his birth anniversary, every year on 3rd of December, feast of Saint Francis Xavier is being celebrated. So answer is 1 and 3. But this is a difficult question. Why? Because this is not given in routine book. Maybe in current or somewhere in contemporary affairs, if you go through this, it is okay. Otherwise, it is not given in the routine book. So this was a difficult question. Moving to the next question, that is 45, with reference to the medieval India. With reference to the medieval India, which one of the following is the correct sequence in ascending order in terms of size? So basically it is asking from a small size to the large size. As you will be knowing, Suba is what? Suba was the province, Sarkar was kind of district, and Pargana was a group of villages. So answer correct is 45A. A is the correct answer. Why? Because Pargana were the villages, Sarkar was kind of district, and Suba was province. Again, this is coming from where? From the Mughal period. In Mughal period, this was there in medieval India. Next question is related to, with reference to Indian history, which of the following statement are correct? If you see the Mughal medieval history of this period, the Nizamat of Arcot emerged out of Hyderabad state. The Mysore kingdom emerged out of Vijayanagar empire. And the Rohilkhand kingdom was formed out of the territories occupied by Ahmad Shah Durrani. See, this is completely false. You may be aware, Rohilkhand has nothing to do with the territories occupied by Ahmad Shah Durrani. Why? Because Rohilkhand was existing even at the time of Mughals. Durrani came in the later Mughal period. So you cannot say that this is correct. Second is, the Mysore emerged out of the Vijayanagar empire. This statement is correct. There was a lot of controversy regarding the first statement, that Nizamat of Arcot emerged out of Hyderabad state. But UPSC has ruled this out. According to UPSC answer key, one is wrong. Nizamat of Arcot did not emerge out of Hyderabad, rather it was existing by the side of Hyderabad before it. So you cannot say that it emerged out of. So answer correct is only B. So 48 ka answer is only B. So here also they are mixing the Vijayanagar empire, the Rohilkhand and the Hyderabad state. Basically they are mixing 2-3 kingdoms to frame one question. But from dynasties they are asking regularly questions, so you should be aware about them. If we see the 2022 questions, in medieval India the term phanam referred to, it is about basically the coins. Again the terminology, a lot of terms they are asking, especially the economic terms related to medieval and ancient India. So phanam is basically for coins. Basically they were related to coins of Vijayanagar empire. So they were related to coins of Vijayanagar empire. Another question is with reference to Indian history. Consider the following statements. Mongol invasion. See, Mongol invasion came in 2021 also. Again Mongol invasion coming in 2022. The first Mongol invasion of India happened during the reign of Jalaluddin Khalji. पहला Mongol invasion Jalaluddin Khalji के समय. This is wrong. Why? Just we discussed that at the time of Iltutmish also Mongols had come. So we cannot say that it started with Jalaluddin. So this is wrong. During the reign of Alauddin Khilji, one Mongol assault marched up to Delhi and besieged the city. This is correct. During the reign of Alauddin Khilji, once the Mongols even came up to Delhi. Because of this only, Alauddin decided to bring military reforms, bring market reforms and strengthen his army. So this statement is correct. Muhammad bin Tughlaq temporarily lost portions of northwest of his kingdom to Mongols. This is not correct. Why? Because during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, there was no such serious threat from the Mongols and no territory was lost. So the answer is B. But the point is Mongol invasion, C, in 2021 and again in 2022 coming into picture. So this becomes an important area for us. Seeing the next question. With reference to the Indian history, which of the followings are referred to as Kuladaran? Again the terminology, again the terms, and this was very difficult. Why? Because they were not coming regularly. The answer is Sayyads. This is not given in the routine book, so it becomes very difficult to look after this odd terminologies which are very difficult to know and difficult to remember also, and they are not even given in the, so 1 or 2 questions you can expect which you may not be knowing, which are very obscure in origin. Seeing the next question, consider the following pairs. King and dynasty. Nanuka Chandela, Jayasakti Parmara, Nagvat II and Gurjara Pratihara, and Bhoj Rashtrakuta. If you see Bhoj is from North India and Rashtrakuta from South. So you can easily eliminate the fourth one. So Bhoj is not from this area. Then if you see Nagvat is related to Gurjara Pratihara. This is correct. If you see the Nagvat, it is related to Gurjara Pratihara in 9th century. So this is correct. If you see Jayasakti and Parmara, is Jayasakti related to Parmara? No. Jayasakti was from Chandela. So this is also wrong. If you see Nanak Chandela, he was the founder of Chandela. So this is correct. So Jayasakti not from Parmara, right? Rather from Chandela. So basically they are asking from king and dynasty. Again and again from king and dynasty and their chronologies. So you should be aware about them. So only 2 pairs is correct in 92. In 92 only 2 pairs is correct. Seeing this next question, Yog Vasisht. If you see Yog Vasisht, it was translated into Persian by Nizamuddin Panipati during the reign of Akbar. It was during the reign of Akbar. So again, question coming from Mughal period. So Mughal Sultanate, Vijayanagar, these are the main areas which we are seeing again and again coming into questions. But then this is a very obscure question. Why? Because this is not given in the regular textbooks. So it is difficult to answer from that perspective. Seeing the next question. The world's second tallest statue in sitting pose of Ramanuj was inaugurated by Prime Minister at Hyderabad recently. Which one of the following statements correctly represents the teachings of Ramanuj? Ramanuj, a Bhakti saint, as I told you, these Bhakti saints are the important area for prelims, and this they have linked to current affairs. So basically they are picking the thing from current affairs and then converting them into history. So basically current affairs and history coming together to make a question. If you see the teachings of Ramanuj was one of Bhakti Marg. He was talking about the part of Parpatti, total surrender to the God. So total surrender to the God, the best means of salvation was devotion. Yes, this is the Bhakti Marg, the devotion marg. If you salvation was to be obtained through meditation, wrong. Logical arguments necessary, wrong. Vedas eternal, nothing to do with that. It was basically about the devotion, basically about the Bhakti Marg or total surrender to the God, the Marg of Prapatti. That is what Ramanuj talked about. So from early medieval India and Bhakti saints. The Prime Minister recently inaugurated the circuit house near Somnath temple at Veraval. So see again, this is again a current affairs theme and they are linking that to the Somnath temple. So Somnath temple is one of the Jyotirling shrines, correct? A description of Somnath temple was given by Al-Biruni. This is also correct. Why? Because Al-Biruni has visited India in 11th century along with Mahmud of Ghazni. So Al-Biruni had visited India during 11th century. He had actually come with this Mahmud of Ghazni. So along with him, he also visited Somnath temple and then he left a lot of description of Somnath temple. Even he criticizes Mahmud of Ghazni also for looting and plundering the Gujarat areas. Next is Pran Pratishtha of Somnath temple. Installation of present day was done by President. This is wrong. Why? Because Rajendra Prasad was the person who had done this Pran Pratishtha, not Sarpalli Radhakrishnan. So this is wrong. So answer here is 1 and 2. So answer is A. So they are basically taking a theme from current affairs and then linking that to the history portion. So you should be aware how to link current affairs from the history portion. If we see the 2023 question, so in 2023 also, again you see the dynasties in 8th century AD, that is the early medieval period. As I have been again telling you, dynasties from this period is coming again and again in question. So they are saying consider the following, how many of the above dynasties established their kingdom in early 8th century AD. So we should know about all the dynasties, then only we can answer. So basically Hoysala, if we talk about Hoysala from 11th to 14th century. So Hoysala had nothing to do with 8th century. So this is wrong. Then Gahadwala. Gahadwala was also not in 8th century. Why? Because Gahadwala, a very famous ruler, or for that matter infamous ruler of Gahadwala is Jayachand. You must have heard about Jayachand, जिसके बारे में हम लोग बात करते हैं कि पृथ्वीराज को धोखा दिया था जयचंद ने और बोलते हैं कि जयचंद मत बनो. So Jayachand was from which dynasty? Gahadwala. And which period? Around 11th 12th century. Why? Because Prithviraj Chauhan was from this period only. So this was from 11th 12th century. Kakatiya and Yadava, all these were from 12th and 14th century. So none of them from 8th century, but you should know about them, then only you can answer this question. But this can be easily done. Who among the following rulers of Vijayanagar Empire constructed a large dam across Tungabhadra river and a canal cum aqueduct several kilometers long along the river to the capital city? So basically the answer for this is Dev Raya I. Dev Raya I was the person. He ruled from 1406 to 1422, and around 1410 he had constructed this dam and made this canal cum aqueduct. So this is available in routine books. This is available in NCERT also. So Dev Raya I was the person. Who among the following rulers of medieval Gujarat surrendered due to Portuguese? Basically, the ruler who surrendered was Bahadur Shah. There was this battle in 1535, Battle of Diu, and in that battle, this Bahadur Shah lost to Portuguese and he surrendered due to the Portuguese. So answer is Bahadur Shah. Answer for this is Bahadur Shah. I'm seeing all these things. Seeing all these questions, we can now definitely identify those areas from which questions are coming repeatedly. See, one thing is for sure that every year at least 3 to 4 questions are coming from medieval history, and it is going up to 7-8 also. So we cannot leave this area completely, because 7-8 questions can make a huge difference in our selection. First thing is this. Second thing is, can they be attempted? Yes, they are attemptable. We can at least read the routine sources like NCERTs and all to attempt. If 7 questions are coming, 4 5 can be done from NCERTs. 1 2 are difficult to attend, that may not be done, but 4 5 we can definitely do from NCERTs. So focus on NCERTs. What are the important areas? As we have seen, there are a number of areas from which questions are coming regularly. What are these areas? First is the early medieval, especially the chronology of various dynasties. So this is one area from questions are coming regularly. Then is the Delhi Sultanate. From Delhi Sultanate also questions are coming regularly, like we saw questions coming from Mongol invasion directly for last 2 years. So this is another area from which questions are coming regularly. Then from Delhi Sultanate, then is the Mughals. In Mughals also, some theme or the other. It can be in the form of music like Tansen. It can be in the form of literature like Yog Vasisht. It can be in the form of painting like painting during Jahangir. But in some form Mughals, it can be in the form of architecture like Buland Darwaza. But in some forms Mughals is also coming. Then is the Bhakti movement. This is also an important area. Whether it is Nimbarka, whether it is Ramanuja, whether it is Kabir, whether it is Lingayat, all these will come under this, the area of Bhakti movements. Whether it is Kabir. Then other than this, there is another area is Vijayanagar. From Vijayanagar also, every year 1 or 2 question is coming regularly. And then one area is terminologies. So from terminologies also, every year 1 or 2 question is coming, especially the economic ones. Economic terminologies like Fanam they had asked. Like they had asked about Hundi, Fanam, Hundi, all are what? All are these economic terminologies. So they are asking regularly from economic terminology also. So these are some of the areas from which UPSC is asking questions. In addition to that, 1 or 2 questions they have also asked from traveler, like we see from Bernier, Tavernier, these were there. Then 1 or 2 questions they have also asked from architecture like Buland Darwaza and all. But most of the questions are coming from these areas only, 5-6 areas. So you should focus on them, prepare them well, and do not try to read too many sources. Take NCERTs, focus on them, especially the new theme wala NCERT. You can solve most of the question from there. That's all in this lecture of medieval India. We will be coming next with the modern history part. Thank you.